fuck with this one. My Uber driver asked me not to spoil anything for him.
Did you hear about the guy who got fucked up outside of the theaters?
Oh no!
A guy walked out of the theaters and yelled out the ending of the movie.
I'd fucking sock him.
And
I would have fucked him up.
They fucked him up outside.
Yeah. What a douche nozzle.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, fans are taking it too far. No.
No, you don't.
This is dude. Come on.
This is it for everything.
I remember it was one of the Star Wars movies.
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
You told me.
Yeah. When we were waiting in line for the show and people were leaving the previous show. Yeah. And the guy was like, hey, you want me to spoil it for you? I'm like, don't you fucking say a word. I'll fuck you up. And I was like, oh, he just walked away. Then the nerds in front of me and nerds behind me were like, thank you.
You're like, damn right. All right, everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Geeks That Lived, where we bring you everything from comic books, wrestling, horror, and of course, the Geekverse. I am one of your hosts, Mark the Freaking Reekin Williams, joined by
Coco Nut. Avengers Endgame edition. Coco Nut.
All right, we are joined by a special guest, okay? Coconut knows him as Pat. We know him here as White IT Guy.
Our white IT guy. He's
Okay.
here. He's here.
He's in the
on
studio
the mic
with us.
He's in the studio. He's not in the
Say hello to the
background.
Geek
What's
To
up,
be fair,
man?
I'm only like 6 feet away from where I normally am.
That's
So,
right.
I
We
mean,
don't really look at
You're
you,
in
though.
the
You're like in a
room
separate
now.
room. Yeah.
yeah, but the door is always open usually.
You're the voice in
Yeah.
the background that people can kind of hear.
You
but
are.
not
That's
really.
just barely there.
Yeah.
Like the Lord.
Like the Lord.
Like the Lord.
Well, I've been called worse things. So
Just giving suggestions to people what you should do.
Yeah. Do this. Like the devil.
that definitely is more devilish.
Yeah.
Which I feel that fits me a lot better.
All right, so we change your name to Lucifer?
Okay.
There we go.
Beelzebub.
Can't wait till my parents hear about that particular sentence there. All right.
All right, like
right.
Coconut said, this is the special end game edition of Geeks That Left, okay? Now we're going to start. Coconut.
Well, first off, we're going to say that today is Sunday, so it's still opening weekend, that the Avengers is still going strong. It's already, I guess, past about $1 billion so far.
1.2 billion globally.
That's
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
ridiculous. I read an article earlier this morning that it in China it opened up at like 329 million
Yep.
or something like that. It was something crazy. So I mean, fuck, man.
This movie's
And
gonna shatter.
Today's Sunday and we're here on our day off recording because we just had to do this
We
special
had to.
episode.
We had
Just
to.
had to.
Worldwide, $1.2 billion.
That is insane.
Ooh. And that's just opening weekend.
Opening
we haven't
weekend.
even gotten to the first full week of this
It's
fucking movie.
the 28th. It's been out for 2 days.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's been out for
Fuck.
2 days.
Ah.
But, man, that's crazy.
It's-
For a
woo.
3-hour-long movie.
I know.
Has there ever been a 3-hour-long movie that
No.
it's grossed so much, so
I
quick?
don't think so. What was the longest running movie today? Wasn't it Titanic or Dance with Wolves?
Was Titanic three hours long?
Titanic was, I think, longer than that.
Titanic? How long was Titanic?
I mean,
Like,
Titanic did well.
It did. It was one of the biggest. No, not the actual ship. Like,
It hit an iceberg
Which
and
is-
sank, damn it.
which is apparently 883 feet for the record. It was
Oh.
3:15. 3 hours 15
15
minutes.
minutes?
3 hours
So
and
it was just
15
pretty
minutes.
close.
Pretty
Well,
close,
like
yeah.
13 minutes.
But this is going to shatter. This is going to
minutes.
shatter.
I think this
that.
already. I think it already did before it even came out.
Yeah.
It had already shattered.
Yeah.
Like it was. Oh my god. And I think in pre-sales alone, it was already, if not one of the biggest.
150 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
They made it
pre-sale.
pre-sales.
Fucking pre-sales.
That's
That's
unheard of.
That is. That is.
So worldwide, Titanic made in its entire release 2 million. No, excuse
2
me,
billion.
2,187 million, and it's already in 2 days about matched that.
Yes.
that's crazy.
And I
That
think
is-
Avatar
that's
is,
crazy.
I think, still the longest running one, right?
Which one?
Avatar.
Avatar.
That made the most.
Was Avatar 3 hours long?
Well, I don't
No,
think
not
it wasn't
that.
3 hours
As
long.
far
It
as
just made the
gross-wise.
most.
Oh, it
yeah.
just made the most. Yeah,
Gross-wise,
yeah.
yeah.
It's still like the
And-
number one grossing movie ever.
And it's gonna get taken over because that was 2.7 billion.
Oh, this is gonna.
So this
smash
is
it.
over. Man, already in 2 days.
He's gonna
2
smash
days.
it.
2
In
days.
2 days.
Jesus.
That's
They're gonna be
crazy.
people who have like, I'm gonna go see it again.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna see it again.
Yeah.
I've already saw it. I've already saw it again. I've already
saw
seen
it.
it again.
I've already done seen it.
I already done seen it. I
You
just
liked
did
it
it
in it?
now.
So that
So I guess what? So we're gonna be doing like I guess 2 episodes
Yes.
in essence. So we're gonna be doing one where we're gonna talk about the movie with absolutely no spoilers. So then, somebody, all you guys out there, maybe one of the 3 fans that we have out there that hasn't seen the movie yet, they can listen to see what our thoughts are on it before they go see it. And then we're just going to go all out. We're going to fucking spoil the
fuck
living
it up.
shit out of this movie.
Yes.
We're going to turn it inside out, right side in, backside, inside.
Backdoor.
We're going to be in all the sides. We're going to backdoor the fuck out of this movie. Can't wait.
all right.
All right, so I'm gonna start by saying, dude, just really simple. There wasn't one part of this movie until the ending that I wasn't unsatisfied.
I
with.
think we're about to talk about my one gripe for the movie is at the end.
Yeah.
At the end, really.
I think
Yeah.
the only gripe I can have throughout the whole thing, and again, in the next episode I'll go in depth.
Yeah.
But
It seems to be across the board. Everybody's in the same
they
boat.
skipped the whole story arc.
Yeah.
They skipped the
They
whole story arc.
it seems to be very polarizing.
Yeah.
This particular moment.
Yeah.
I watched it last night. I did watch it last night. I immediately, when I was home from the bar, obviously, we started just digging into everything,
Yeah.
and everybody like A's across the board, except for this one part.
Yes.
No shit.
And the problem is, it's a pretty important part.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very important
Which-
part.
Almost ruins a lot of the movie for me.
really?
It does,
Because it's the last thing I remember. So in the time of the movie, the last thing I remember is this part,
Then it fucks everything else up. for
and
you.
so
for me,
Interesting.
it went contrary to everything I've been saying leading up into this movie, where they were going to go into the future movies.
Mhm.
So it took it and it took a dive. Like it was
Okay.
just like, woof. Like I understand why they did it
yeah,
to stay current, but at the same time, I'm like,
I
Interesting.
could see it. I don't know how much more we can go into it. We'll definitely go back to
yes,
that.
we'll definitely go back to it.
But
You got me fucking intrigued.
Yeah.
Because I have one part that I didn't like, but that was like in the middle of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have no idea, no clue what you guys are talking about.
I think I might be guessing your part too.
Okay.
But I'm actually really glad that we're doing this the day after because I need to work some things out. So here, this is
Where
what
your
this,
shoulder to cry on, where your ear to
Therapy
bend.
session. A therapy session.
Therapy
this
session.
is my AA meeting, the
This is AA.
Avengers Anonymous, Anonymous, whatever. I can't say that word apparently.
I did like a lot of references to the original movies, to like the throwbacks. 'Cause
Yeah,
this being
yeah,
the last
yeah.
one. You know what I'm saying? And they did a lot of like little things that I'm like, oh, okay, that you
Yeah.
can remember. okay,
Homages, callbacks, yeah.
They did so many of them. Like
Oh,
yeah.
one of the things I wrote down in my Micah moment was that this movie was more. Every other Marvel movie's been looking towards the future, like
Yeah.
setting up new movies and
Yes.
yada yada. This
Yeah.
one was definitely looking back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In literally more ways than one.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, yes.
But
Light spoilers. But what I like the most about this movie, Jesus Christ, what I got stuck in my mouth?
Get it out.
This
Get it out. Some
is
popcorn
why I
left in there.
normally don't swallow. So one of the big things that I appreciated about this movie is that this movie, the directors gave so much fucking fan service to us fans.
Oh my God.
Like they gave us all the big payoffs that we've been waiting, that they've been
Yes.
promising fucking 21, 22 movies ago.
yes.
And that's what I like. That's what I like. Like I said, there was barely a part in the movie where I was like, nah.
And the best part
It
is they
was-
didn't overdo it on the fan service. They didn't
Yes.
cheapen the
They
rest of
did
the
it
movie.
Yes.
just enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it wasn't campy, where it wasn't like,
And it
Yeah.
made
come on,
sense
you know?
as to why it
Yes.
existed there.
And
it,
they,
Yep.
they threw, again, I'll go into it in depth later, but they threw a little homage to a pretty much unknown story in a comic book, a little fight scene that happened in a comic book that they actually put in a movie. And I'm like, oh,
Mm.
like I remember reading the comics. So when it happened, I'm like, oh my God.
no, they dropped so many little
Oh my
Easter
God.
eggs.
It was,
yeah. Yeah.
and-
Both
and-
comic
and
book
it's-
and if you're a fan of the movies.
Yeah. And it's sad that, because again, the Russo brothers said that this is the end game for them as well for now,
That's fine.
that they're done.
Yeah.
That's fine.
they went out with a fucking bang with this
Yeah, they
movie,
did.
man.
Oh yeah, they did go. Yeah, there's
Holy
no
shit.
way for nowhere for Marvel to go but down now.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly,
Good luck to any director.
honestly.
They went in, took a shit on your table, dropped the mic, and said, "Follow that."
See ya.
Okay, because
Yep.
it's gonna be hard to follow that fucking.
It's ridiculous the way they set everything up for the future and the future movies. I mean, honestly, I'm not spoiling. I'm not going to spoil anything because obviously, if you listen to the show, you know that I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I wasn't a fan of the movie.
Yes.
I did say I was going to reserve judgment to see how she does in an ensemble. And all I'm going to say is that my judgment has not changed on Captain Marvel.
I will say
in
one
this
thing.
movie.
Her effects looked a hell of a lot better.
They did look better.
They
That
did look
better.
made it a little bit of an easier pill to swallow for me.
They did, but again, like I said, like Eugene said, the one character I was least impressed with.
I totally agree, and there's a reason why I agree. But I can't talk about it yet.
I mean,
We'll talk about it next up.
there
Yeah.
wasn't one. Even in the slow parts of this fucking movie, it was interesting
Listen,
enough
man,
to keep me captivated.
Now,
to
here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I started Thursday night with everybody, the first 45 minutes of the movie, 45 minutes of the movie, like I was dreading the movie. Like I'm
Really?
like, this
Yeah.
movie's fucking 3 hours long. I was like, is this the pace that it's gonna be the whole movie? And I did not enjoy it. And then once they got to the major story, major arc of the movie, everything that they were going to do,
It went from 0 to 60.
it just 0 to 106.
That, I think they were trying to make you dread everything.
They were-
I
because that was
fucking hated the first 45
point.
minutes.
The
Because
anticipation.
everybody was dead. Like they were trying to put that
Yeah.
feeling of the song that they play at the very beginning. It's literally like there's a lyric that says like give us some bring us out of this doom and gloom. And it's all just like, please, for the love of God, help us.
It was just
Like, and it was just dragging you through the needles.
the scene with the support group, like just all the stuff, like the whole movie just like felt like not the sequence that started the movie, but then what they did in the middle of the first act of the
Act
movie.
2 of Act 1.
Act 2 of Act 1.
Yeah.
I was like, what? and then it just went down from there. I'm like, what the fuck? And I think because I was anticipating like the big fight and the battles and everything else and how they were gonna, what they were gonna do, I think that's why I had that feeling of dread for the first 45 minutes. Now, when I saw it for the second time yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I knew what was gonna happen,
You saw. The
I
slow
appreciated
build.
the
Yes.
first 45 minutes, how they set up everything in those first 45 minutes.
They do a very good,
Oh my
subtle
God.
job at
Yes.
it.
But that's the thing.
Yes.
They wanted that anticipation because everybody was anticipating this movie to begin with,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So they're like, okay, let's stretch this shit out.
That-
So
no,
from the start of the movie, they gave you a little bit, and then they kind of slowed
Yeah,
the
they
pace
did.
down. and then out of
yeah,
nowhere-
they had to
it hits
reel everybody like
Exactly.
let's lower the heart rate. Like everybody's super
Yeah.
pumped about this. Let's
Because again, like you
Let's
said,
take it back.
in that part of the movie, I was literally sitting back in my chair. When the story arc started, I was like this.
Oh yeah.
I was
yeah,
on
yeah.
the edge of my seat, man.
Listen, man, I had one of the worst seats ever for this fucking movie on Thursday. I was sitting in the RPX theater of a Regal Theater, which is the Regal's version of the IMAX
Yes.
screen. So it's almost as big. I was sitting in row A,
Ooh.
seat 4.
Ooh.
My ass was all the way in the front, all the way to the right of the
How
corner.
was your neck?
I literally had to lay down, facing my left side, looking up, following the screen back and forth with my head.
Ooh.
My neck was killing me by the end of the movie. But I'm telling you, man,
But was it worth it? Was it worth it?
Fuck yeah, it was worth it. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? It was awesome. Just seeing it with it was almost a sold out show with like maybe 2 or 3 seats that were open, but just all the parts just being there, just everybody reacting.
Oh yeah.
Appropriately, the same way that you're reacting. Like it was
100%.
awesome. It
My
was
theater
awesome.
at the Flicks, excuse me, when we got there, okay, the whole front row, don't ask me why people decided to sit there, was already filled.
No shit.
And we got there at like 5 o'clock,
What time was your show?
6 o'clock.
See, I thought that was gonna happen with mine, but when I rolled in like 15 minutes prior, it was empty.
Really?
I was actually really surprised.
Did it pack?
Oh
in?
yeah, then they
it
filled
packed
up.
in there, yeah.
There's so many people who came in late. Like, how can you come in late to this fucking
Yeah, what
movie?
the fuck?
No,
Like,
no,
They were
how-
stupid.
No.
Like,
Maybe they already saw it.
they had missed the beginning, like
Wow,
completely,
that's
essentially,
stupid.
which is a pretty important part. I
Yeah,
mean, it's all
yeah.
important in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
God.
think there's a single part of this movie that is not
I've told
pivotal.
people that know me at the
Yeah.
gym that know that I'm a geek and they've asked me, hey, have you seen the movie? I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm gonna go see it. Okay, I tell them everything, like you said, treat it like surgery.
Yeah.
Don't eat too much during the day. Don't drink
That's
too
what
much
Kevin
water.
Feige said.
Yeah.
Like, when he's going, don't do any. That just you're gonna be in for a ride.
Sit your ass down and you fucking stay there.
That's it, man. Stay
it.
there.
Don't
stay
move.
there.
I think there was like GameSpot and maybe IGN both came out with piss guides.
Yes.
I like when
you
to go,
Yep.
Yes.
when to go to the bathroom. If like you hear this line at roughly this part of the movie, now you can go.
Yes.
Like this is a decent time, but even then you've got like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
run,
it, just,
so run
yeah,
all it.
it doesn't work. Like when I went like the second time to go see it, and I had it like both times I had to fucking piss. It sucked. You know, like I told you guys earlier before we started recording. You know, within an hour and 15 minutes into the movie, the first day on Thursday, I already had started feeling the tingles that I had to go pee. And by the end of the movie, I was fucking my dickhead was between my forefinger and my thumb, squeezed hard. So that way I wouldn't piss my fucking pants. It was terrible. It was terrible. But I'm glad that I did it because I would have missed. I should have gone within the first 45 minutes, which is why
that
the
would
second
have
time,
been the time to go. But then
Yeah.
then even in the slowest moments, it explains why people
Yep.
aren't there.
Yep.
It explains
why people have certain feelings
Yeah.
towards, doubts and things like it. Just again, that's what I'm saying. It's even in the slow parts, it was enough to keep you intrigued to stay there for the fucking 3 hours and not move.
It was interesting, and I'm going to tiptoe very carefully through this next part. Is see how certain people reacted to the end of Infinity War, and I'm not gonna go in like
detail,
in a
yeah.
hard, but it's everybody's a little differently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they still are for the most part in line
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with what happened, with
Yes.
with one exception, but it was. And then that was that's what made that slow build so good. Is it was more of that reaction.
Yeah.
Like now we
Mhm.
actually get to see for finally what the world looks like after. I'm surprised that they actually talk about Thanos like to the public. And
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, you can't really.
well,
you know,
the initial
it's not the
rum-
Men in Black universe. You can't like.
yeah,
you know,
the
give them
initial
a little-
rumors were they were just gonna have like it was called the decimation. That was it.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I was actually surprised to see that they actually were going to talk like, yeah, it was Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally happened.
So you mean like the way they don't really talk about like all the aliens and stuff like in
they call it the event.
incident.
The incident.
Yeah.
The
Incident. Yeah.
Well, they
Battle
allude
of
to
New
it
York.
a bit with one character,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it. After that, you only ever see what Earth looks like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is, I guess, I don't want to say disappointing. It was enough. Like they already had enough shit to
But
do.
Yeah.
can't you
it had
tell me
more than enough.
when you're watching that part? Okay, again, not going into detail, but when you're watching, like I said, that with Earth and everything, didn't it make you feel like a sense of dread? Like,
Yeah,
holy shit! like, the way
everybody
they
is
did that.
super bummed.
Yeah, the way they did that.
Yeah.
Even
Entire
even
part.
me in the
Yeah.
theater, I'm like, oh my god, I can feel the depression over to here through the screen.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like the
Yes.
sense of loss of being defeated. Like
like
you felt it.
and not a little bit either. Like they just
Yeah.
completely and totally destroyed.
Yeah,
And
those fucking directors open your mouth and just shove that shit right
It's
in.
ridiculous, man. What was it? It was Met Stadium, City Field.
Yes.
That they showed where
Yep.
empty and
It-
all deserted cars.
Oh my
and,
god! When they showed it in the trailer, so fuck it. When they showed the harbor with all the boats that are just like all piled
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
you're just like, holy
Ah.
shit!
Uh
yeah, it's super foggy. It's gray.
Yeah,
It's
Yep.
there's
doom
no
and gloom is there. It's
it's-
present, man.
through the entire bit of that act one.
Yes.
And whew,
And again, that's why I say the build was awesome. They made you feel that way, and then
it made you
Okay.
desperate to beat him too.
exactly,
Yeah. Yes.
Is what it was. And I mean, we were already kind of there after Infinity War,
Pretty
but
much.
now it really just
Yeah, just-
grinded that in.
it just dug it in a little bit more.
It was definitely they made the right choice.
Oh yeah,
they did.
And
They did.
It got to the point where I can barely remember Act One right now. like going back and think I can remember all of it, but
Mhm.
there's so much going through the movie that
Oh yeah. I mean, there was parts that I saw yesterday that I totally forgot.
yeah.
you know,
Really?
from
Yeah.
watching on
I'm
Thursday.
actually
Like,
curious to see it again, just in case that did happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because there's lines and shit that I missed because people were like laughing and
Yeah.
like when I went and saw it yesterday, the theater was almost full. I had the whole aisle to myself.
really
nice.
Yeah. I mean, I
Do you,
saw
like,
it at 1
stretch
o'clock in the
out, lie
afternoon.
on
Okay.
lie
Oh
down
yeah, I
on
was
the
kicking
sides?
back. It was awesome.
Did you have
But-
the reclining seats?
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
I'm not going to any fucking theater that doesn't have the reclining for a 3-hour movie.
2019. We don't do that
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
I'm like, you see the size of him? Can you imagine him in a seat just upright like this?
Oh,
the whole
no.
fucking time?
It'd be like the Hulk in like a tiny little chair, like a kindergarten chair.
And again, the one thing I liked about it, again, they kept the Marvel tradition where dark, like you said, gloomy. You know, some funny spots here and there.
They brought
They gave you, and then they kind of lightened it up. Then they gave you some more, and they lightened it up.
that's just good pacing for a movie
is.
in general.
It is.
You can't have it just be entirely depression filled, or else
Everybody in the theater's crying and shit, calling
Yeah.
their moms their
Oh my
therapist.
God. Yeah.
like you know they understood that there's the give and take of the story and the emotion of the story. Like you can't just go all in on one thing.
As far as storytelling, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think one of the best movies that I've seen in a while.
Oh, that's
as far
definitely
as the
true.
pace of the movie, keeping you intrigued in the movie, like
The pace was weird when they swapped. There's essentially at least 2, if not 3 movies in this movie. When they swapped in between those movies, that's when things kind of were weird. But once that transition was over, everything was great again.
yes,
So there was just that kind of initial moment of time that really kind of threw everything out for me, at least. But it wasn't any. I immediately forgot that it had happened after
because
the
there was
scene had
another
happened.
awesome scene.
Yeah,
coming
because they
right
just the
after.
flow of the movie was just going and going
And again,
and
without
going.
going into detail, that fucking battle scene,
Oh,
dude,
That battle scene was bananas.
holy
Like
shit!
it was
The
ridiculous.
text you got from me was literally right after the fucking movie ended.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Right
I
after.
hope so.
I'm like,
Shit.
I gotta text him. I don't know
Yeah?
if he's in the theaters
was-
yet, but I
yeah.
gotta text him.
it was it was so good.
Oh my God.
It was beautiful.
It's hard that we're doing this fucking
With no
episode where we can't, with no spoilers. Because it's so hard to say
Okay,
anything.
Now this is our build up. This is our
This is
45
our,
minutes.
this is our, yeah.
And then it's just gonna be everywhere.
Wait
And
for it,
then it's gonna be
bitches.
balls out. Balls out. I can't.
Coconut's gonna take his dick out and just slap it on the table.
I'm just gonna slap it on the table. And I'm
That's
gonna
it.
slap maybe you guys. I'm gonna slap my. I'm gonna just talk into it. That's gonna be my mic.
As long as you talk into the other mic too.
Yeah. Talking
Yes.
to both.
Yeah,
Talking
that's
to
right,
both.
that's right.
Have it
That's right.
side by side. You
Yes,
can
yes.
double
Or else
fix
I'll
it
sound like this,
like the old days.
like
But-
the old days.
You can do like Mike and just yell into the mic.
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah, this is weird not being on the knobs right now. I can't wait for this to hear what this sounds like at the end.
It's gonna be interesting.
But
And I believe it or not, in the theaters, towards the end of the movie, I did hear some.
I
And
cried.
I was looking around like, who the fuck is crying? I was trying to see who was crying.
Okay, well,
this dude.
let me tell you something. The first, I think
got
it's
you.
because the first time I saw it, I did not shed a tear,
Yeah.
not one. Okay, and I don't know why. The second time,
Yeah.
Waterworks?
Is it? Maybe it's because you knew and like the shock of everything had kind of
Probably, yeah, that's what it was.
So you could
the shock,
actually
the
accept
adrenaline was
things?
everything. Yeah, and I sat there. I'm like, and I noticed other things the second time, and for some reason that triggered the waterworks. It was weird. It was weird.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm
Well,
like,
those-
am I really? And then of course, the 1, 2, C3, maybe half dozen scenes, maybe. No spoilers here. That you cry like it was funny. Like you could hear it. The whole theater's like
You're more attuned to it. At that.
me. Yeah, and it
at
was
that point.
just strange. Like all of a sudden, I already knew what was going to happen. And yeah, I bawled, man. I bawled. I couldn't
think
believe it.
If I watch it again, I definitely will. In one scene that I didn't earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
There's definitely gonna be like that one, but there's one scene where I actually I had the little like table that slid out in
Yeah,
front
yeah.
of me, and I did like the fist bang like on it like yes! Like happening.
God damn it!
And, oh no, it
it's
wasn't.
not fair.
It was tears of joy when
Oh,
this one
okay.
happened.
Oh my God.
It was like,
Yeah.
I was reading online because some people are posting like reviews, not spoilers, reviews.
Yeah.
And one guy, like I even told him, I went on Instagram and I'm like, you are out of your fucking mind that he wasn't satisfied
How
with.
can you not?
That's
be?
what I'm saying. If you are a
There
fan
is something
of the comics
Oh,
and everything, I'm satisfied the way they ended and how they left things open, which
How
we're
they
going
set
to.
things up.
I
for
am
next
very
phase.
glad
yes.
that they did not give it as final of an ending as I thought they were going to.
Exactly.
If they had, I would have felt a little worse for the movie.
Yes.
Because like anything that I didn't like, that would have meant that it was like, all right, that's pretty much in stone at this point.
Yeah.
But the fact that they still left it fairly open,
Yeah.
more ended, I guess, than other Marvel movies.
Mhm.
But this one, like, there's still room for things to move around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's not like the characters are exactly the way that they're going to be right now.
Exactly.
There is a chance, and that makes me feel better about any misgivings I still have for the movie. So
I heard there's only people. I mean, there's some people out there that, of course, are movie snobs that were like, "Oh, I gave it a B- or whatever."
I'm a
Which
movie
is
snob,
fine.
and I went all in for it. Like
I
if,
did. There's only two main complaints that I've heard about the movie. One, that there's no end credit scene, which actually I'm okay with.
But they said there
fits.
wasn't going to be.
and there is something. There is something. At the end.
There is
We'll
something,
talk
yeah.
about
We'll
the-
talk
in
about
the
that next
stinger.
episode.
Yeah.
But that, and then the one scene that I have a problem with. A lot of other people were like, "Come on." So
I'm curious to hear what you have to say
yeah,
about that.
but other than that, I mean, honestly, this couldn't have been a more satisfying
Oh my God, payoff.
conclusion
Oh
the,
my
the
God.
fact that
to
there
this
is
whole
no
saga, this whole experiment that fucking Marvel did.
the fact that there is no end credit scene plays into it.
Yeah.
Like the whole end credits is literally every single motherfucking actor
Yeah.
who had ever been in any Marvel movie
Exactly.
ever.
Yep. Even
And
small episodes, like small.
everything.
roles.
It didn't matter. I think they even had people who weren't in the damn movie. who were
They
in
did.
there.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
and-
right.
It's funny because I
It
know
was-
even I was one that I was like, you know what, I'm going to stick around, and that's when, like I said, there is something. But
Yeah,
you know, the Russo brothers said it. Look, this is the end
that's it, man.
of this
There
whole
is-
saga,
there is-
so we're not going to have. an
There
end
is
credit
nothing to
scene.
build into. That's
Nope.
what Far From Home is for.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
this is this. This is the period at the end. Well,
Exactly.
exclamation point
This is
at the
what
end
you
of it
people
all.
have been waiting for.
Yep.
The culmination of
people.
all these movies. Take it, enjoy it, get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
thematically, it fit that there was just nothing there.
Yes,
and it worked better for it.
it did.
Yeah.
It
Plus,
did.
it would have been a cop out, and it would have fucked everything.
It would've cheapened everything.
It would have cheapened. That's exactly. Yeah,
It would've-
that's the word I was looking
It
for.
would cheapen
Yeah.
it. Be like,
Yeah.
remember how everything was nicely wrapped up?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Let
Here you go.
It took
give
about
us
2
this,
minutes.
Give us
Like,
this. Let us digest it.
yeah.
Then start with
Yeah.
the next phase.
Far
and stuff
from
like
home.
that.
Well, Far From Home is the actual end of Phase 3.
Well,
Yes.
originally it was
Yep.
going to be the beginning. Now they switched it to the ending.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that they did because we're discussing this right now. It's exactly why that they
Yeah.
shifted it. Like now
Yeah.
we don't have to wait a year
Yeah.
to see what Phase 4 is going to look like. We know exactly what it's going to look like, and it'll kind of tide us over until
Yeah.
Yeah.
that point.
We're gonna have a
Um,
ways to wait because
I
after Far
know.
From Home, that's it. I think we're gonna go a whole year without.
Without a
They're
Marvel movie.
taking a
probably
year
like
off,
2
which I
years,
think
yeah.
is a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's just to kind of let's
What
just take a chill.
what's the phrase you
Absence
always
makes
use?
the heart grow fonder.
That's it.
I mean,
That's
it's make us want more, man.
You-
That-
Don't
and
give us
also,
more shit. Just let us be
after-
for a while.
We just had the Thanksgiving meal of Marvel.
Yeah, we
movies.
did.
Fuck yeah.
So
And
now-
we're
now
still
we-
suffering. We're still
We
suffering
had the
from
meal. We had
films.
the dessert. We're good, man.
Now we take it easy for a little bit to
Yeah.
go into it.
Far
So-
From Home will be the after dinner brandy.
Pretty much. There you go. There you see.
You know,
I can dig it.
Now it's time for everybody to get the DVDs and just watch them in the comfort of your home.
I'm
Binge watching it from Iron Man all the
absolutely-
way up.
or pirate it. Whatever.
Oh, whatever.
you know,
Pirate it.
I will absolutely get that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
This I don't even buy discs anymore, and this one I'm absolutely gonna buy.
Oh yeah.
Damn, you don't buy games anymore? You don't buy.
Nah.
this
I'm
new
a millennial.
Well, that's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
We're old. We still buy DVDs.
Listen, man. Listen.
I don't
I got
even
into
have
a
a
whole
DVD
argument
player.
with Micah and the other podcast
Really?
about that shit because it's just
Well,
yeah.
that was the whole VHS thing.
The whole VHS
That was
thing, yeah.
that's dumb.
Yeah.
That-
Well, that
that's-
whole
that's dumb.
argument that just angered me.
Excuse me as I bring in a piece of machinery bigger than my computer in here, so I can play this thing that looks like garbage.
Yeah, but that's another
That's another
episode.
podcast.
That's a whole nother
Uh,
podcast. But I mean, what else can we talk about this? It's just
I guess
without spoiling. There's just
my one thing that I could say is, and I personally I have my own opinion, but I'm going to throw the question out anyway. Is this better and or worse than Infinity War?
I'm gonna say it's better.
It's better.
It's way better than.
I'm going to
Infinity
say
War.
it's the exact same because this to me was the same fucking movie. Like it's a part 1, part 2. It is not meant to be a sequel. It is meant to be a continuation.
It is. It was.
Okay, I see that.
I see
I
that.
see what you're saying.
Like, and it leads.
As
Literally,
far-
it's a conclusion. Like,
Yeah.
it's the first. Infinity War was the first act,
Yeah,
first and second act,
Act.
and then
we got 3, 4, and
Endgame
5
was-
here.
Yeah,
And
But
I
would
feel like
think a lot of the action and the battle scenes in here were hyped up a little bit more than they were in Infinity Wars. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you got to see a little bit more of each character.
Well, hey, there was more time to do it.
You know what I'm
there
saying?
was.
So,
But that and
more
also
time.
like they made where Infinity War is all about Thanos.
Yes.
This one kind of returned back to the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Not kind of. It totally did.
It
Return back.
Because again, I mean, not to everybody who knows the storyline and, you know, seen the trailers, the first one, it was the Avengers. We've seen them up against Loki and the armies and Ultron and all this. We've seen them win. So going into this, it was the Avengers actually losing.
It was them actually avenging.
Yeah. So going into Infinity War, we saw them lose for the first time. They got defeated. So now this one was them. How do they handle the defeat? How do they bounce back? And them coming back from it. So
plus, Infinity War was the movie that everybody was looking forward to. That was the one that was the culmination of all the previous movies. We got to see all the characters. I know all the characters in the Marvel universe were all coming together for the first time ever. That's what Infinity War had to contend with.
Yes.
And then this one just upped the ante and fuck, man. It was like Infinity War. What?
Well, I mean, that's what they originally was called, Infinity War Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like all they did was just swap the names. I think they decided what they're going to put in one, and like most other Marvel characters have like their origins like movie, and then they get the ensemble. I feel like Infinity War was Thanos's solo movie to set him up for him being in.
You know what?
Endgame.
I'll fucking agree with you on that, because it wasn't until after the first Avengers movie that we got the reveal that Thanos was the big bad.
Yep.
Then
sorry, we got the first reveal. There was a larger story.
Yeah.
There was a larger build.
And that was when we were like, oh shit, it's the Infinity Gauntlet. And then the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. And then he had a tiny part in Guardians of the Galaxy with Ronan and all that shit.
He had about 5
and then we got a
minutes in
good
there. Yeah.
But then that's it. That's it. You heard rumblings of him. You see him here and there.
Of Ultron.
Yeah. You see him here and there, but then that's it. And it wasn't until Infinity War. And you're right. It was almost like it was a series of post-credit scenes leading up to Infinity War, as it has this like origin tale or whatever background story movie that we have for everybody else.
Exactly. When they go into his story on Titan.
And then this one was just like, all right, you already know what their motivations are. You already know what his motivations are. They kind of met before.
Yeah.
He fucked them up. That's it. Now we're going to give you the big story.
Yeah. And then it was a culmination of that. Like,
of everything.
They've set the tone for him. They set the tone for everybody else and the whole plot. Now they can just go to town. And they totally did.
Oh my God. They went to town. Oh,
I'm just
God.
Like, for me, after watching this movie, right, I almost feel sorry for who the director who's going to do the first movie coming into. You know what
Whoever
I mean?
takes the next Avengers movie, oh, God help you.
God help you.
I feel sorry for them.
Listen, I told my girlfriend when we walked out, I was like, listen, I go, this is why I wanted to see this movie the day it came out.
Yes.
Like that Thursday night, that first showing, I wanted to see it because, like I said earlier, that's it. This was literally, people use once in a lifetime a lot. This was literally a once in a lifetime event.
We have numbers to back this up.
Yeah.
That is never, ever going to happen again. This is a first and only time. Will they probably make bigger movies? Yeah. Will they do, maybe a better story arc? Maybe. Will it take more movies? Will it take less movies? Who knows? But this is the first time and only time that we're gonna get this sort of reaction, this sort of like the anticipation, just all of it. That's it. This was literally a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah, and just to go there and feel the vibe of all of it. Like, and it wasn't just a movie; it was literally a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Well, it was because, again, remember, most of us, and I'm gonna say most of us, Eugene and myself, we grew up reading the Infinity Gauntlet comic books and stuff like that. So to see this play out on screen, and some of it is true to the comics, some of it, they take a little liberties. Of course, we know that, we accept it.
But the liberties they took were good.
Yes,
it made sense as to why they took them.
It did. But it's like just seeing it, like you said, it was a cultural phenomenon. People wanted to see, let's see how this is going to play out. We know how it played in the comic books. Let's see how it's going to play out on the big screen.
And to caveat off you, like you grew up the comics. I grew up these movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I like, so your first Iron Man was like what, 2007, 2008? I'll look that up.
It's probably, it was probably 2008.
2008?
I mean, if only they said 10 years ago, every other minute, I might be able to remember like 10 off. It was 2008, which means like if it's 2019, God, I was like 15 years old. 15 or 16 years old.
Yeah. I was an adult already.
Me too.
I was 15 years old in the first Iron Man. So I literally grew up like my quote unquote adult years. What of them I have is watching these movies. So to sit there tonight, or well, last night, and just to be like, this is
epic.
This is it. Like, this has literally been waiting 10 years for this movie.
Of your childhood.
Whether I knew it or not, like this was it.
Watching this shit. Yeah.
I remembered like going to all the other movies, like how I saw the first Avengers on my 19th birthday. There you go, another one. Like seeing Guardians, like all of it, and then just like, this is it.
Dude.
And then it just fed more into like the feeling and knowing that everybody else is in the same boat right now.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's
And the thing is, once again, Marvel has a knack of, if you weren't a fan of the comics or the characters before you saw the movie, you are now.
Yeah, I couldn't have given less of a shit about Doctor Strange. After Doctor Strange and then into the movies, I'm like, this dude's dope.
Yeah.
Like, this is
awesome.
It's just the way it is, man. Like most people, Black Panther, like even he had said.
Exactly.
How many people can say back in the day they owned a Black Panther comic book?
Yeah, like
not too many.
Not too many.
Not too many,
I didn't
dude.
really read Black Panther myself either.
I had one weird comic book only because my uncle grabbed a bunch from a candy store back in the day when he sold them there, and gave it to me. But that was it. I didn't go out of my way to get a Black Panther comic book either.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and then that movie came out and it was great.
Yeah.
Like, and then
I'm telling you, man. See?
It's so hard.
It was so climactic and just final enough.
Yes.
That like there's more.
Really, like without spoilers, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But there just even with just non-spoilers, there's nothing bad, like horribly bad, you can say about this movie.
No.
There really
no.
isn't.
All of my gripe.
It was very satisfying.
My gripe, I can put it away.
Yeah.
I can put it away real easy. I'm actually curious to see what happens when I see the movie again. If
we'll see,
I have that same opinion.
Reaction.
I'm going to be looking for all the hints for that now to help see if I can kind of build myself through it.
Yeah.
Because they totally might have been there, and just with everything going on, I might have missed them.
We'll see when we see it again.
Just because, oh my god, there's so much.
I can't wait to go into a spoiler full.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to think if there's anything we can kind of finish on so we can move on to the next thing.
I mean, how long have we been on this now?
About 30 minutes. That's why it's about time.
It's about
that time.
So do you guys have any last thoughts for the spoiler-free, safe for work version?
All I'm going to say is, again, if you haven't seen it, stay the fuck away from the next episode, but get your ass out and watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. You know what? You listen to this, and that means that you didn't see it yet. So go and see it. It may be tough finding a seat. Maybe not now. If you go by yourself, you'll definitely find a seat
by yourself,
whatever show. But together, maybe you might have to wait. But go see it. Trust me, you'll be satisfied. I don't have an ill word to say about it. No, I don't.
All right. So, I mean, that's it. This is our one episode. So we're closing now. It's a short episode. The reason it's short is because we can't spoil this shit. So we're going to spoil this shit in the next episode. So this is Geeks That Lift. You can reach us at geeksthatlift@gmail.com. You can reach us on social media, on Facebook, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams, and also just catch any episode anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. So for the Geeks That Lift, can you tell that I'm speeding up because I want to get into the next episode already? Your tone's going faster, faster.
Coco Nut with special guest, our white IT guy.
Yellow, Pat.
And
the freaking Rican.
All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.